Hey guys, Drifter here. Today I've got a video for you about sustainability. We're going to be talking about some of the things that I like to think about on a daily basis. I saw somebody tweet says, I wonder what Drifter thinks about all the time, so I'm going to tell you a story about some of the things that I think about and wonder about, and we're going to be talking about environmental sustainability. I almost said economic sustainability. That's a different problem for a different time. The gameplay that you're going to get to see is what I would call my average kind of gameplay. I've got an MTAR with a silencer playing domination, going to get about a 2.0 KD against decent enemies. They're not terrible, they're not bad, they're going to make me work for it. I guess they're not as good as me, but they're not bad at all. And the commentary here is kind of unplanned. A lot of you have shown a fondness for these sort of unplanned, unscripted commentary, so I'm doing more like that. And I was thinking about sustainability the other day when I was arguing with my wife about recycling. My wife is really big on recycling. She likes to recycle plastic, she likes to recycle cans, she likes to recycle glass, she likes to recycle paper bags, and she puts a lot of effort into it, which I naturally don't do. I mean, she'll go through the effort of crimping the cans so that the recycling sorters don't get cut. We'll wash out the glass so that they don't have to burn it and clean it and go through all these other less efficient methods, blah, blah, blah. Whereas honestly, I would just chunk it in the recycling and say the recycling people can deal with it, or realistically, I would just throw it in the trash and be done with it. And a lot of people judge me pretty strongly on that. Like, you know, if you don't recycle or if you don't want to recycle, you don't respect the environment, you don't like the environment. And some of the things we're going to talk about moving forward are going to sound very conspiracy theory-like. I'm going to sound like an Illuminati, New World Order, reptilian, alien kind of guy, but I promise you, I'm not a reptilian alien. I've just had some very reptilian thoughts about the ideas of what we've got going on. But I don't see recycling as being important because it doesn't help enough in the long run to be consequential. It's like recycling is like putting up a 1-foot tall thing of sandbags when you got a huge flood coming. Recycling is like putting a band-aid on a gaping wound. It maybe helps a little bit, you feel better about yourself, it certainly doesn't hurt anything, but it's not solving the problem at all. And the problem is not just that we pollute or that we're not green enough or we don't trade carbon credits or something like this. The problem is that we exist, period, and we exist in a society. I really should have seen that IED like an idiot. I ran right into it. But that we exist in a society to where everything we know, everything we want, every comfort that we've had since birth, every desire that we've been pressed for is something that in some way pollutes in a massive amount and propagates both economic and environmental instability. And that sounds very, very downer, but it's true. Imagine if you go to the grocery store and you buy a soda and the soda has on the bottle it's made from recycled plastic, and you feel good about yourself not only because you recycle plastic, but the recycled plastic on the bottle is greener or, you know, less pollutive or something. But the reality is just doing that. You vote with your dollars in our society. You vote with your money. That's really kind of the way it's always been, but we've really taken that to new extremes in the last 100 years. But that bottle that was made with recycled plastic, you had to use energy. You had to burn fossil fuels to ship it from a house to a facility where people had to sort it all the time with jobs, with big machines running, with lights, put in human effort, human capital, they burn calories and food and all this other sort of stuff. And then once they've sorted it, about 90% of the time they're going to ship that plastic to somewhere in China that will recycle it to Chinese recycled plastic standards, which is almost always cutting corners of some kind. And after that, it has to be shipped back to us, and once it gets back to us, then it's formed, and then it's put in the bottle, and then it sits there in the air conditioning, my bad, not the air conditioning, the cooling, and we use energy for that, and fossil fuels, and blah, 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 blah. And at the end of the day, it's very counterproductive, and I don't mean it's counterproductive about recycling in general. There's some recycling that is very economically efficient, environmentally sound and productive, cans being one of them. Very, very easy to recycle cans. There's an entire industry about recycled aluminum, very big deal, but that's not what I'm getting at. Even the best of things that we get propagate a system of pollution. The house that you live in was made by construction materials from cut down trees, from things that we harvested in different countries, manufactured in places that burn fossil fuels, that had energy, just constantly making stuff. All the comforts that you know are also not environmentally friendly or stable. Air conditioning burns energy, burns fossil fuels, pollutes, changes the air quality. The houses that you live in create urban desertification because it changes the natural light radiance that bounces off of the surface. Big cities do this differently. Big cities even show up on the like NOAA radar because it screws up, like the pollution in the air screws up the weather radar and all sorts of stuff like that. It's just everything, and I mean literally everything. Even the food we eat is, I would say, food in quotes. A lot of it's made to resemble food. It's not really food. It's highly processed food. It took a lot of energy to make. It's made in a specific way. It's not a sustainable way. I mean, if you've seen a cow farm or a chicken farm, you probably wouldn't want to eat the stuff ever again. And it's just everything about existing, everything about being a human, every single thing that you want, that you enjoy, that you eat is in some way bad for the environment. So I arrived at the conclusion that humans in general are bad for the environment, and that even when we try to fix things, when we try to make things better, it's just a counterproductive measure, because pretty much everything that we do causes and creates more disorder in our environment and in what we're doing. Unless we go back to just living in straw huts and agrarian living and doing absolutely nothing, then we're just not going to get any better with our environment, and we're not going to do that. That's just not the nature of who we are. That's not what we're about. That's not what we grew up. We're curious beings. We're hungry. We're smart. We're scientific. We want more things in our lives. We want to be smarter. We want to test more. Even doing science and math and testing, just you have to create tools that take a certain level of processing, that create a certain level of machinery, and you have to make machines to make machines to make machines that make the final product, and it's just going all the way down. So I don't have an answer for this. I know that every single thing I do in my life, even using the electricity here, watching computers on parts made of silicone mined God knows where, and all these other sort of things only contribute to this imbalance, but it's my way of life, it's my way of doing things, and that's how I am, and I'm not going to change it unless I want to just go out in the backyard and eat grass every day. And it's something that worries me. It really, really worries me, because it occurs to me that in order to, say, fix our environment, what's the easiest way to do it? Get rid of all the people. What's the greenest possible thing you could do in your entire life? Not have children. Or maybe kill yourself, though that's not really good advice. And believe me, that's not the advice that I'm giving you here. Don't take that out of context. But the greenest thing that you could possibly do for the environment is just to stop existing right now. And that's it. And it's a really bleak concept. And what makes it bleak is, like I said before, there's no solution. Every solution that I come up with is a counterproductive solution, and it's something that really bothers me and kind of scares me in my life. I don't know a way around this, and these are some of the things I ponder about and think about. Maybe I'm just not smart enough. Maybe my feeble human brain is limited and I haven't seen the light. I haven't been able to see what I need or what I need to be doing or what I should or could be doing. Maybe there is a solution out there that some genius is going to come up with that's going to radically transform our world. But right now, I'm not seeing it, I'm not feeling it, and I can guarantee you if we continue on this current path, there's bad things coming. Maybe not now, maybe not 20 years, maybe not 30, maybe not 50, maybe not 250 years, but eventually there will be a critical point and a collapse, and it will be very, very brutal and ugly. I hope you enjoyed the commentary, I hope you learned something useful, and if you enjoy these sorts of commentaries, let me know. Oh yeah, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe. Almost forgot that part. Drifter out.